CTE, procedure storage, and view. Feel free to drop questions in the comments or ideas as we go. And if you like to support the stream, you can donate. Your name will pop up on the screen. Just use the link in the description below. So I would also love to welcome the new viewers. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. So we have a goal for the new viewers. We have a goal, and we want to finish that analysis course, everything that analysis in 5 months. Okay, every day there will be a stream here. We are continuing with our lesson. Today we are in day 14, SQL. Besides that, I would also love to give a shout out to a book that I have written with my own hands, and there is a soft copy of that book in the description below. If you would love to master Excel and those stuffs, go ahead and get that book. Okay, and if you also love to get a mentorship and private tutor, there's also a link for that in the description below. Okay, so if you have a question and after the stream you might be asking some question, those stuff, you can contact me through my Gmail or Instagram. I'm ready to help. Okay, so with that being said, we can now start our lesson. Or if you have a question, I'm ready to answer. So we can now start the question. So in this lesson today, we'll be talking about CTE, that is common table expression. Okay, common table expression. So let's open our notes. Can you guys see this? Okay, so common table expression is a temporary result set in SQL that can be referred to within, select, insert, or delete a query. So this thing helps us break down complex queries. So if you want to break down complex queries into manageable and can easily be understood, you can use CTE. So this is what we mean by CTE, and so that it is temporary. So once you run the query, it cannot be used again. Okay, so that is how CTE is. So we're also going to do a practical for this. CTE are defined using with keywords, right, followed by CTE name. So and the query generates result set. So you have to start with, if you want to use CTE, you must start with, that is the first characteristics of CTE. Okay, then followed by the name you're going to give your CTE, right, and the query. So after that, you're going to put the query inside the CTE, so that generates the result set. Okay, so with that being said, let's look at what CTE does. These are the things that CTE does. The first one is improved readability. They allow breaking complex queries. Alright, they break down complex queries into modular parts, making it easier to understand. So we also see that it is used for reusability. You can reference a CTE multiple times within the same query. Okay, but it is temporary. It will reach at a time you cannot use that. So we say that it is temporary. We have recursive query. Recursive query. Let's take it. Let's look at it in the big picture. So it's a way in SQL to find things that are connected, a boss and their workers, okay, or a parent and their children. So it's like saying start from the top, keep going down step by step. So we have in our company we have a boss and his workers. So after the boss we might also have managers, right? So if for you to go from the top to down, for you to see that structure, we use this what we call recursive queries. It will arrange from top to bottom. Okay. CTEs allow recursive queries, which can be very useful for, as you can see there, or graph-like data structures. Right. So that is what we mean by recursive query. So if you want to see from the top going down, so from the boss, then we have managers, then we have employees, then staffs, right? So that is the structure you want to see. If you want to arrange in that order, then you are going to use CTE, specifically recursive query. All right. With that being said, we can go ahead and do a practical. First, before that, let's look at the syntax. Right, this is the syntax of CTE. Right, it starts with as we said, then the CTE name, the name given to the CTE, alias. This is alias there, so you have to put alias, that is must. So in normal queries, alias usually comes before, right? But when you're using CTE, you have to give the CTE name, then put alias at the end. So the name should be a good name, should be a respectable name, right? So that you should give the CTE a good name. So you then open a bracket, then you write your query. This is the query, the complex query you are writing here. That's from here to here. Select column, all that's from table, where conditions, so those are the stuff. Then after that you end with the CTE name, so you select all from the name you gave to the CTE, so it will run successfully. Okay, that is what CTE is used for. Okay, with that being said, let's open our dbeaver. If you have a dbeaver, open it. If you have MySQL, open it. We are going to do practical. So I'm opening my dbeaver. This is my dbeaver. Okay, this is our work that we did it yesterday. So we were talking about window function, update table. So we are talking about this stuff yesterday. So if you joined yesterday's stream, it was about this. And this is our table. So let me show you our table. So this is our table. We have been using it for a long time. Alright. So when you run that, so these are the informations we have. I would love to give this. This is what we are going to use today. So we have employee ID, we have first name, we have second name, we have salary. So we have 4 columns and 2 rows. That is our data set. Okay. In this data set, I'm going to use CTE. So let's do that. So you remember how the syntax was? It starts with, so it starts with. Do we say that? Okay. The first word should be with, right? Let's do that. I'm going to do that right now. So with, we are going to start with. So that was the syntax. Then after that, we were told to give the CTE name. So I'm going to give it a name, easy referral. Okay. Referral. Okay. As alias, let's say or let's say best employee. So you guys, is it better? So I think that will make sense. So best underscore employee. So that is the CTE name. So alias at the end, then open brackets. So then go down so as to structure. So now let's write our query in this bracket. So select employee ID, employee ID, employee ID, comma, then first name, first underscore name. Now just select from the table name employee, right? Employee. Where? So wait, sorry for that. Where now condition employee underscore ID, so equals to 1, right? Now close the bracket. Now inside the bracket we have our query. So that is what our query looks like. So select employee ID first name from employees where employee ID equals to 1. Then at the end we say that we select all from the CTE name. So select all from employee ID, right? Not class employee. Nope. What is the name given to the CTE name? Best employee, right? Best underscore employee. Then finish with semicolon. Now let's run this query. So this is how CTE looks like. So try to run this query. Control enter. There we go. As you can see there, this is how CTE looks like. It starts with okay. So best employee, select employee ID, first name from employees where employee ID equals to 1. So that is our query. Then at the end we finish with selecting all from the CTE. So the question is, why do we use CTE? So the answer to that question is we use CTE to break down complex queries, and also we use it for commenting. Remember that instead of so with this now query, I understand. So if I'm a manager or if I'm a stakeholder, something like that, I will understand that this query is about best employee. So because the name given to the CTE is best employee, so it means that we are looking for the best employee. Okay, maybe even if it is about looking for investment, so best place to invest, so maybe that's the name of the CTE. If I'm a stakeholder and then someone hands me this, I will understand automatically that this is about best investment or best employee, those stuffs. So the name given to the CTE should make sense, okay? Should be correlated with the query you are writing, should be close, right? So that the person you are going to hand in with the queries will understand without going corners. Now the problem with the CTE is that it is temporary. So if I wrap this thing, I will not able to get it. So it is once, right? That is the first problem. The second problem I will tell you is that if I am to write again, I have to write all this, okay? Do you think this has literally broken any complex thing? It has not broken any complex part of the query, because I have to write again this query for me to get the best employee. So I won't able to select all from employee. Look, when I select all from employee, it will bring error. Okay, control enter. It has to, as you can see that if I select all from the best employee, it will bring error. Okay, now with that being said, we can now go to the better one. So there's one that is better than CTE, and we call it view. Okay, view is the best one to use. So these things are used by junior data analysts. For example, you are hired by a company and you are a junior data analyst. You are not familiar with some of the complex code, right? You don't know how to type some of the complex, and you want to prefer this, maybe you want to go to the senior data analyst so that they can explain better, right? So for easy referral, we are going to use a view, which is used by junior data analysts, right? I said again, it is used by junior data analysts or interns working in a company, because they don't have experience and they might be stuck in complex queries. For them to avoid stacking in a complex query, so we usually simplify the query for them, the queries that are used most often. Okay, the queries that we use most often. For example, let's say we are looking for a very complex stuff. It contains joins, it has subqueries, and you end up confusing yourself. Okay, so I have a better one, and the better one is view. All right, So let's look at view. Just we are going to wrap this and write view. Okay, this is now what we call view, right? So you start with create view, that is how we write it. Start with create view, easy, let's just write easy referral, or we use the best employee, right? Best underscore employee, all right? So the alias comes at the end, as you can see there. So select all from select employee ID, first name, that is a column, from. So this is our query, okay, from employee. So I will show you, you will definitely see how view is better than CTE and more effective, right? So from, then where, there's a condition, employee ID underscore ID equals to 1. So as you can see there, this is what we mean by view. Let's run this query. Okay. Yep. You can see the difference there. When you run this query, it looks like it works with the database. As you can see there, there's these tables, like you're creating a table, right? Now let me show you something now. Select all from best underscore employee, then and with sorry for that, there should be all here. Select all from best employee, control enter. Yep. So let's say the stakeholders want to see maybe the best employee, and you don't know how to write this query. So will be the senior data analyst will simplify it for you. Okay, they make it simpler for you, where you will be able to write only the needed query. So select all from best employee. This is the anchor, right? This is how view look like. Okay, and it is better than CTE because this one, first of all, it is temporary. Even if I wrap this thing, so let me erase this, I'll show you something here. Wrap this. Okay, I'm able to run it again. So I just say select all from best underscore employee. Okay, there we go. You see, it is permanent. Unlike CTE, it is temporary. Therefore, and there's maybe 2 to 3 reasons why view is better than CTE. First of all, view makes it simpler for the junior data analysts and interns. Okay, because the query is is broken down into very simple parts, right? And you'll end up writing only a small part where now you will able to get the information without writing big queries, right? Big and complex queries. That is what view looks like. Okay, and we also have what we call CTE and storage procedure. That is what we call it. So if you are using MySQL, or what else do we have? Yeah, if you're using MySQL, specifically MySQL, you are able to use storage procedure. That one is permanent, but it works same as CTE, right? So you get me, meaning that you won't able to run this small part of the query at the end where you get the information. So it means you have to write all the query for storage procedure, same as CTE, but storage procedure is permanent, right? Meaning that it can be referred easily and doesn't disappear often. Okay, now with that being said, I would also have to talk about storage procedure. In a minute, we're going to talk about storage procedure. So let's take a small break. By the way, there was a thing I came across. I wanted to share with you guys. There's this website called Fiverr, I don't know, something like that. That website is full of scammers. So if you're using, maybe you're selling your services, web design, you're doing those stuffs, be careful, because I came across a lot of scammers recently. So I was just trying out that I wanted to give out services, and the moment I opened the Fiverr account, hundreds of messages I got. So it was a bit scam, because they give you something like, don't understand even how they do that. They take the screenshot and of your service. So then they say, hey, I'm not able to buy this service. Then they send you some email stuffs. And now if you click that, it will take you directly to your bank account where now they can steal your money. So be careful if you're using Fiverr, because I was even shocked to see. Have you guys even come across something like that? Very big scammers, yep. I was just trying out, and I had to delete even my account, yeah, because it almost messed me up. But the guy was saying that he paid for the services and he cannot get it. And I was like, okay, if you cannot get it, I felt bad for him. I said, no way, this guy paid for services and he didn't get. So I wanted to help him out as much as possible, trying to get him, that you feel bad when someone pays for service and he doesn't get it. I was like, send me the email, those stuffs. Then he sent me an email. I don't know what was that, and I clicked the email. The moment I clicked the email, it took me to my bank account. Now, so when I clicked my bank account, I didn't know even what it was about. The page was very confusing, to be honest. So I just clicked OK, connected with my bank account. I don't know what's that. The guy was able to take some money, but I was able to get refunded some of the money. So you guys be careful. So do not, I repeat again, do not use Fiverr. If you are doing web design and video editing, those services, just you can use other websites. I don't know where, But be careful, because the world today is full of scammers, and I'm shocked, to be honest. Yep. So they look so convincing. So they manipulate people. Yep. They manipulated me, thinking that I did something wrong, and I felt so bad. Yep, that is how it went, and I was able to take some of the money. Once I called him, he blocked me. It's quite funny though. I felt bad. Yeah. I'm a type of person who feels bad for people if they don't get the service they want to get me. So I wasn't able to avoid such a person. So this my client was like, "Hey, I cannot avoid this person. He's a big fan, maybe something like that. So why would I do that to him?" So and it ended up very bad. Yep, it ended up very bad. Up to now, I regret doing that. Okay, now we can with that, let's go back to our work, guys. Okay. Yep. Have you guys even been scammed, to be honest? Or am I the only victim here? Okay, we can now go to our notes. Let's see if there is anything need. This is the notes. Okay, for the CTE. This is the notes of CTE. So we are done with CTE. Those are the informations for CTE. CTE we are done. So let's look for storage procedure. So that was our work, right? That is our work. So let's open storage procedure. So let me just show you how storage procedure looks like. Okay. If you're using MySQL, it will run properly. Make sure you're using MySQL. Alright. If you're using MySQL, it will run. Okay. But if you're using PostgreSQL, you need to download MySQL, because it has a lot of information. So you're going to do stored procedure. Stored procedure. Is compiled. Stored procedure is a compiled statement. It's a compiled statement that can be used for future reference. Okay, it can be used for future references, and it is permanent, unlike CTE. So yep, these are the case. So it is permanent. See there. So this is how we write. So it starts with delimiter. So this is the syntax. We have a delimiter. This is syntax. delimiter. So I will explain. Wait, guys. Delimiter, right? Let me just write the query and I'll explain it. Then there's backward slash. So don't worry about this, okay? Don't. So I'll explain it in a minute. Begin. Select all. And select all from employees. Right? And semicolon there. Then end. Okay. And delimiter. Delimiter, okay, then end with semicolon. So this one only functions those who are using MySQL, MySQL, not those who are using PostgreSQL. Okay, so it's a compile statement that can be used for future references. So it is permanent, unlike CTE. CTE, it is temporary. Okay, and CTE. So the full, this is the abbreviation of common table expression. Okay, the full name is common table expression. Then this is the abbreviation. We write it as CTE. Now this is the syntax for stored procedure. We start with delimiter. Then there's two backward slash. Yeah, this means that. So begin. It means that we are no longer using these stuffs. So semicolon. So usually when we want to end our query, we end with semicolons, right? So we are going to tell SQL to end with delimiter, meaning that it should end with this. So begin, it means that this is the query starts here and end the delimiter. So it's going to end with this. Now we are going to return our normal delimiter, which is this one, right? The semicolon at the end. Okay, so if you run this query in PostgreSQL, it will refuse. For example, let me just go to the beaver and show you guys. Go to the beaver. Where is the beaver? The beaver. Yep. So if you go to the beaver, write it. So as you can see there, it will refuse it. Okay. Hey, what? And with this. Okay, but it will refuse it. Okay, see this. Okay, control enter. Yeah, because it doesn't exist in PostgreSQL. You must use MySQL for you to get that. So that is today's lesson. So let's do a recap of what we have learned. Okay, so let's do a recap of what we have learned. Right. So we're going to do a recap. Okay, we talked about CTE. So a recap or summary. Okay, of what you have learned. Today's lesson. Today's lesson. We talked about CTE, common and common table expression. We say that this one is CTE we said that this one is temporary, it stays for some time, and it will disappear, so it is temporary. And it usually, the syntax looks like this. It starts with, so the word with it begins with, right? Then you give the name of the CTE. Let's say maybe best employee, so underscore employee. All right, so select all from, so now you put alias, so that is the alias should be there. Then you open bracket, you say this, then you put the query once. So select all, let's put our query, select employee underscore ID, first name from employee where employee ID where employee ID equals to 1, right? Employee ID equals to 1. Then you close bracket, then select all from best employee, right? Best underscore employee, so end with semicolon, right? So this is how you run the query. Yep, that is the CTE. So this is how CTE looks like. Okay, it is temporary. We said it is used to break down complex queries. Now that is the end of CTE. Now let's do view. Okay, view is permanent and more simpler. So that is what we have here. So that is number 2. We have view. So view looks like this. Create. Make sure you're familiar with the syntax. That is the most important part. So create view, maybe easy referral, something like that. Easy referral, maybe like that. Alias, so there should be alias. Then you open bracket, you put the queries you want, the complex queries. So maybe select under employee underscore ID, then comma, first name underscore name, first name from employee. So where employee ID, employee underscore ID equals to 1. So end with semicolon, right? So this is how view looks like. So once you run this query, something like that, once you run this query, and it means it will be put in the database. Now for you to refer this query, you just say select all from the name you gave to the view, right? Easy referral. So referral and with semicolon, then you run this query. So this is used by junior data analysts or interns who are new into the company and don't have much experience running complex queries. So people break it down for them. The senior data analyst will break it down, will write this kind of query for them. So now they will just write this, select all from easy referral, right? So to make your work easier. The third one Let's talk about the third one, which is stored procedure. Stored procedure is also permanent. So stored procedure, this is what we have. Stored procedure someone asked, I'm learning cybersecurity but confused with data field. So which is high salary and high demand in the future, which is good for future. By the way, both the careers are good. See, if you are to go with one, just push yourself. There's no easier part. Both of them pay a lot. Cybersecurity, the average salary is about it's about around $120,000, something like that. Also, data analyst is about there. So, data analyst is quite simpler. But in future, this AI. Let me just be real to you guys. Is AI. So most of the jobs will be replaced by AI. So cybersecurity will be safe at that time. It will be much safer. So if you're looking for where a place where you can grow, it is safer, just go with cybersecurity. Okay? Don't confuse yourself. You can also take data analyst, you see. So don't be just go with one. Okay? But for safety, just go with cybersecurity. It is a good course. Just do it. I know it's quite challenging, right? But data analysis is much simpler. It's very easy. You can even learn data analyst with in 1 month, 2 months. Okay. So just go with one. If you want to go with cybersecurity, go ahead. And if you want to go with data analyst, go ahead. Okay. So both careers pay a lot. So summary of today's lesson.